Hey, architecture firm owners and emerging leaders. Get ready for unparalleled insight into the development of a world-class architecture firm and a worldwide organization driving the digital transformation of the design and construction industry. With Build Smart, the podcast that's changing how our profession operates. We share the incredible stories behind innovation in the building industry with my friend and co-host, Patrick McLeamy, FAIA, former CEO of the international architecture firm, HOK.
You know, Yamasaki's office or firm lasted during his lifetime. And when he passed away, I think that was the end of the Yamasaki office. Helmut did not want that. He wanted a firm that would live out and grow beyond the founders.
In Season 1, discover the untold stories behind HOK's meteoric rise, from 150 employees in St. Louis to a powerhouse with over 1,900 staff members and 27 offices worldwide.
You know, they weren't as polite as the Kojima people. That was just boom. And anytime you have a creditor, whether it's Kojima or the bank, that wants their money, unless you can raise money someplace else, you are out of business.
Bankrupt. And hold on tight for Season 2, where Patrick takes us on a new adventure as chairman of Building Smart International, shaping the future of digital transformation in the design, construction, and operation of built assets.
Ian Howell, Ken Harold, and I, Ken was my technical representative from HOK. The three of us took a tour of Europe of 5 cities in 5 days. Very busy time.
Simply follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Smart now and uncover lessons that will transform you and your architecture firm. Hey, architecture firm owners and emerging leaders. Get ready for unparalleled insight into the development of a world-class architecture firm and a worldwide organization driving the digital transformation of the design and construction industry. With Build Smart, the podcast that's changing how our profession operates. We share the incredible stories behind innovation in the building industry with my friend and co-host, Patrick McLeamy, FAIA, former CEO of the international architecture firm, HOK.
You know, Yamasaki's office or firm lasted during his lifetime. And when he passed away, I think that was the end of the Yamasaki office. Helmut did not want that. He wanted a firm that would live out and grow beyond the founders.
In Season 1, discover the untold stories behind HOK's meteoric rise, from 150 employees in St. Louis to a powerhouse with over 1,900 staff members and 27 offices worldwide.
You know, they weren't as polite as the Kojima people. That was just boom. And anytime you have a creditor, whether it's Kojima or the bank, that wants their money, unless you can raise money someplace else, you are out of business.
Bankrupt. And hold on tight for Season 2, where Patrick takes us on a new adventure as chairman of Building Smart International, shaping the future of digital transformation in the design, construction, and operation of built assets.
Ian Howell, Ken Harold, and I, Ken was my technical representative from HOK. The three of us took a tour of Europe of 5 cities in 5 days. Very busy time.
Simply follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Smart now and uncover lessons that will transform you and your architecture firm. My name is Mark R. LePage, and you are listening to Entre Architect Podcast, where each week I speak with inspiring, passionate people who share their knowledge and expertise, all to help you build a better business as a small firm entrepreneur architect. Tiara Hughes, welcome back to Entre Architect Podcast.
Mark, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me again.
Oh, I'm excited about this too. I'm looking forward to hearing what's been going on with you and First 500. And you were here originally back in June of 2018, so several years. Episode 222, we talked about the First 500 project right after you launched it. And so I'm excited to hear 3 years of development, and there's lots of things that are happening. So I want to talk about that. But before we do that, let me introduce you. A St. Louis native based in Chicago, Tiara Hughes is a senior urban designer at SOM. She's also an adjunct professor at the Illinois Institute of Technology, commissioner with the City of Chicago Landmarks Commission, and a real estate professional. Tiara is a devoted activist, educator, and advocate for underrepresented communities and voices, and currently serves on the board of the National Organization of Minority Architects, also known as NOMA, and the Charnley-Persky House Board of Directors for the Society of Architectural Historians. Tiara's personal experiences in the industry, along with her passion for advocacy, led her to establish this national research initiative, First 500. As a founder and executive director of the First 500, Tiara travels the country to raise awareness of the importance of Black women architects throughout history and their contributions to the built environment today. And so, first of all, first500.org is the website. Go there and check it out. It's a beautiful website. We're going to talk about that a little bit because that's something new. Tiara, it's been a while. It's been a long time, actually, 3 years or so. I want to talk about all of this that's happened since then. Before we do that, I want to remind everybody who you are. I just shared a little bit about you. Can you go back to where you discovered architecture? Share your origin story. When did you discover your passion, and who or what inspired you to become an architect?
Mark, first of all, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And it started really young for me. I was in elementary school. In second grade, I was accepted into this gifted arts program. And we had an annual fundraiser. And every year, no matter what holiday you celebrated, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, we celebrated everything. Every single student in the school would get a gift, right? A toy. And we raised money for that fundraiser. So we got to create art, any medium of our choice. And I started drawing buildings from books, and I could do it pretty well, and was really excited about it. I remember the following year in third grade, I saw blueprints for the first time. we don't have those anymore, but I still remember the smell of the ink and the feel of it on your fingers.
Yeah.
And I recognized floor plans for the first time. And as a young child, this is unheard of for me to know what doors were and door swings and windows. And I just recall someone saying, you want to be an architect, because I definitely wanted to be the person influencing the world around us.
So was that elementary school?
That was elementary school.
Wow. Early on.
Yes. And I'd never met an architect, kind of transitioning. The next time I was introduced to architecture at all was in high school, where I took architecture and engineering classes. And of course, I was the only girl in all 4 years of those classes, and the only student of color. And little did I know, Mark, that was preparing me for the industry. And so got through high school, and then I went to Drury University, which is a master's program in Springfield, Missouri. I got to study abroad and live in Greece, which obviously, with it being so ancient and historic, that has obviously influenced my love for historic preservation and all of the roles that I serve now in educating our communities on that. But graduating Drury, I booked in 2015. I booked it to Chicago, and now here we are.
So what did you do when you got to Chicago? So right out of school, went to Chicago. What did you do once you were there?
I spent some time with a mentor, and started with HOK. And I was with them briefly for 6 months, working on one of their largest projects in the Chicago office at the time. It was an extension to the KICC, the Kentucky International Convention Center. And I was really burnt out. I was working a ton of hours. I was really, really young and trying to make my way. And so I switched gears and went to a smaller firm for 2.5 years. And then I came to SOM in 2018.
And what did you do originally at SOM?
I transitioned into urban design from architecture. So that was another really monumental step
What
in my
inspired that?
career.
What inspired you to shift to urban design?
I think there's a lot of alignment. First of all, the initial conversations with them, the urban design studio of SOM, I learned about sort of the big picture and being able to work with communities. And, all of it was very exciting to me. And that ultimately, I still remember Doug Voigt, the partner, asking me in my interview, um, he was like, "So are you interested in urban design?" And I was like, "What is urban design?" And just as passionate as I am about it, he was in that interview when he was describing it to me. And I just knew it was a fit from there. And it's been great so far.
So what are you doing there today?
I am still an urban designer, also a project manager on projects, and they've just really trusted me. I've stepped into sort of a global leadership position in EDI within the firm as well, and it's really humbling for such a monumental entity that's been around for so long. I mean, we're talking about an 80+ history here
Yeah.
to trust me and my guidance in the EDI space.
So are you working? Are you working with EDI equity, uh, diversity, and inclusion? Just for anybody who doesn't know what EDI is, are you working with them just for that office, or are you working with them for their across
the entire firm?
Yeah, so globally, I mean,
Yes.
SOM is all over the world.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's wild.
That's pretty awesome.
Likewise, they have, I founded First 500 the same year that I started with SOM. And that was one of the kind of big things I was talking about to all of the SOMers as I was getting to know them. And they were very excited about it and super supportive. And even to this day, they've been very supportive about First 500. And I'm excited to say too, it's grown from being a national initiative to now global, because even in different parts throughout the world where Black women are not a minority, they still are extremely underrepresented in our field. So we're finding that there's a lot of similarities across the board in architecture throughout the world. So it's, again, very humbling experience right now to see it grow from what it was it was a thought, Mark, when we first started.
Right. I mean, you were calling it the First 500 project. It
Yes.
was really just an idea. You said, "Oh, well, I'm going to try this." Explain what First 500 was originally launched as and what it is today, just so everybody has some context.
Yes. So originally, First 500 was simply a research initiative to just learn more about the representation of Black women in architecture and to sort of spread awareness. And I was able to, since its founding in 2018, I was able to travel all around the country to give these talks and these lectures to raise awareness about Black women in architecture and their contributions, and for us to just all be more aware and to lend a hand, right, to her whenever we meet her and come across Black women in the field. Likewise, now it has grown. It is now an entity. First 500s, our mission now is really about elevating and celebrating those Black women architects and continuing to raise awareness about them and their distinction to our communities. We're also providing that central resource and also aiming to increase our representation infinitely. And I'm sure you guys have seen infinitely increasing as a part of the slogan.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of that is kind of wrapped into the mission of serving as a resource as well for Black girls and women in the field.
Infinitely increasing. I love the whole brand. I love the First 500 brand. I love that as a tagline. The website looks beautiful and is not only beautiful, it's very functional. It has lots of resources. It's very clear and understandable how it's a great representation. We've talked about websites all the time and the importance of architecture websites. This is a great example of not an architecture website, but a website that does what it's supposed to do, right? It's giving you the resources. It's very easy to find what you're looking for. It helps you collect interest of people who want to help. Very easy to understand how to do that. I want to step back just a step. First 500, where did that name come from? Just to clarify that.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a part of the origin story. So, when I relocated to Chicago in 2015, I had not met a Black woman architect in college. I had not learned about any Black architects. And so moving to Chicago, a very diverse city in its own right, I was excited to meet Black women architects, learn the ropes from them. And upon searching, it was a very daunting and difficult task. I was like, where are these women? And at the time in 2015, we had about 115,000 licensed architects. I learned that less than 500 of them were Black women. And so, again, less than 1% were Black women architects. And so I was fired up by this. I was just like, this is unreal. And that at the time was the first 500 project, which was just making sure everyone in architecture is aware of this statistic, of this number. It was a quick way for all of us to kind of wrap our heads around that disparity and to do something about it. And so that's the name still resonates today. I remember it sparking sort of this monumental moment in the industry of Black women going through the licensure process and wanting to be in the first 500. And so,
right, a goal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the numbers of Black women architects, it took us 60 years to get to 400. And now it's taken us less than a decade to get to over 500 now. So the movement is, it's in effect now. And we're very, very excited, again, to be a resource for these women as they're going on in their journeys.
Yeah, the website very clearly illustrates that too, the 500, and how small of a number that is in comparison to the entire profession. And so it very clearly illustrates not only the words of your mission are there, but it's clear immediately when you get there why this is important. Let's take a quick break to say thank you to our sponsors for their support of this episode. This episode is brought to you by FreshBooks. There's a lot to love about being an entrepreneur architect, right? But trying to figure out your financials on your own is not one of those things. Luckily, there's FreshBooks, the all-in-one accounting solution that's built for business owners like us. FreshBooks takes all the not-so-fun parts of running a business, from building and tracking invoices to managing online payments to organizing expenses, and automates them with features like the new digital bills and receipt scanner, saving you up to 11 hours per week in the process. 11 hours. FreshBooks has your back at tax time, too. It's almost tax time. With a ton of reports to choose from, you'll know exactly where your business stands, and you can easily hand the keys over to your accountant so they can take over when it's time to reconcile everything for the year. Try FreshBooks. Try FreshBooks for free for 30 days. No credit card required. It's free. Go to freshbooks.com/architect. freshbooks.com/architect. Get started today. That's freshbooks.com/architect. So, what will you do with your 11 more hours each week? This episode is brought to you by arcat.com. If you haven't used Arcat's Spec Wizard before, now is the time. Spec Wizard is a patented tool that allows you to specify a product in just 3 simple steps, all for free, without even registering. Completely accessible, completely free. Step 1, research and find the right products for your project at arcat.com. That's ARCAT.com. Step 2, use the Spec Wizard tool to select products and options. Right? Simple. Step 3, generate a complete 3-part CSI or CSC specification based on your selections. That's it. A complete 3-part specification in an instant with SpecWizard. Again, SpecWizard is free to use and requires no registration, no payment, no email, none of it. It's free. Just head over to arcat.com and try SpecWizard today. SpecWizard at arcat.com. That's arcat.com. ARCAT.com. Please visit our sponsors today and thank them. Thank them for supporting you, the EntreArchitect community. So first500.org is the website. What will this website now allow you to accomplish?
So expanding beyond the mission, we have 3 pillars that we are primarily focused on at the moment. The first one is still the same from its founding, which is raising awareness. So pre-COVID, I was everywhere. I was flying here and there and everywhere. And I've still done a few talks here in COVID, so, virtual talks. But the intent is to get back out there when it's safe to do more of these talks and to get in front of different crowds. Recently, I met little Black boys and girls that were ages 3 to 5 years old and told them about architecture. And it's just all really exciting. So raising awareness is still the number one pillar. Next to that is resourcing her roadmap. And so, Mark, you already mentioned it, but we have a ton of resources now on the website that are chronologically through her journey. So from small children, small Black girls, and just children in general that are interested in architecture, it has resources for them. It has YouTubes, which we all know babies love YouTubes, all the way up through her becoming a licensed architect and what networks and can she plug into and what awards should she be applying to get recognition and to spread her brand. And then, of course, again, Mark, I mentioned I never learned about a Black architect in school. And so there's books that are either Black authored or are featuring Black architects that are in this kind of list that we've searched high and low, far and wide to find, to pull that list together too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say it's a great resource. And I love how it chronologically orders the resources. So if you're a mom or dad who's looking for information for your child, it's there. If you're a college student and you're trying to figure things out and how am I going to get through this profession, it's there. If you're a non-licensed professional and you're looking to get licensed, there's resources there. And if you're already licensed and you need to continue to progress, those resources are there as well in terms of mentorship programs and scholarships and design competitions and networks and books. All of that is on first500.org. It really is the place where if you're looking for this information, this is the resource. This is where everybody should be going because it's all there and it's going to continue to grow. And so if you go and you know of a resource and it's not listed, send it to Tiara and the rest of the crew over there. It's info@first500.org and it's the number 500. So it's not spelled out. First 500. So first500.org. You can learn all about that.
Oh, and I was just going to say, Mark, first of all, thank you for looking through the resources. You've done your homework too. That the last pillar, which is certainly an extremely important one as well. I mentioned my experience too about I just could not find them, right? Like I was searching and searching. That last pillar is about building a strong community. And so something else we did in this platform is we created the space for Black women architects to have a designated platform dedicated to them. And we did that by providing each of them with their own profile. So when you go in, you learn a little bit about them, about their backstory, and some of it may be architecturally related, some of it may be personal. It's completely up to them what they want to share. And then some of them have websites listed. A lot of them have their social medias listed as well. Even if it's just their LinkedIn, you have now a place where you can go find them and connect with them personally. And so I thank these women for even trusting us and putting their information out there so that people can find them. And specifically young Black girls that are looking to them as well can reach out if they have any questions or want to connect. So more on that as well as we continue to build it out. But right now, that's sort of the foundation of us building the community.
That's a great idea, to be able to have a resource, a database, basically, to be able to find and document all 500 of them, right? To if you're looking for anybody of the first 500 and beyond, they'll be there eventually, right? They're not all there now, but you're documenting them and inviting them to contribute to their profiles. Awesome.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I noticed talking about this with other people and with you back in 2018 is that often the issue is that young students are not exposed to architecture, that they don't even know that architecture and architects exist, and they don't know that they can become an architect, right? Until they're in high school or college even. Often many architects of color don't even, from hearing other stories, they didn't even know that architecture existed until they were in college. And so that is a great mission that you have as well, to focus on those children, to have those resources. And there's a lot of resources there to be able to not only have a resource where people can find it. If they're searching for it on Google, it'll show up. But then parents who are looking for that information about architecture and design can find it there.
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say too, something else recently that I found troubling when I was preparing for the talk with Jack and Jill is a group it's basically a tool of exposure for little Black girls and boys to learn about different professions and tools and financial literacy, for instance, as children. And as I was preparing for that, I Google searched, like children architects, and I could not find any Black children represented, which was scary. And so it took a lot of digging and a lot of just clawing through sources to find one that also wasn't for sale. And that's another thing that we are looking into when it comes to exposure, is really breaking those barriers of us not seeing ourselves, right? And so you see on the website, there's just lots of Black girls mentioned. On the social medias as well, there's lots of Black girl children mentioned, Black woman students. We're just really trying to break down this barrier of not seeing ourselves and that exposure that has been lacking for so long.
So where do you go from here? So you've built the website, the foundation is there, the structure is there. Clearly the resources will continue to grow, the profiles will continue to grow. Where do you ultimately, what's like the ultimate goal of First 500? Where's it going?
I think we've developed this board. There is a leadership board now, and also an advisory council who these are all women who are FAIA. They are at the highest possible honor as architects within the industry that are all serving as advisors for us. And then the leadership board is Black women in architecture who also all have very diverse and accomplished careers. I think it starts with this group. This is now the brain trust for First 500. And it's bigger than me, right? It started with me, but it's much bigger than me. And I think there's a lot that we have as goals and that we're interested in doing. I know exploring the possibility of us creating a foundation arm is 501c3 arm is in talks right now. And what primarily we would be doing is providing financial support to those who are in school studying, those who are, whether it's you needing supplies or, hey, I have a balance of $456 or $1,000, I don't know, but providing in an equitable way, right? Not saying here's $1,000 scholarship, but I have a balance of this. Okay, well, here is this. We want you to finish school. You belong here, right? Also, those who are studying to get their exams done, that's a really expensive process as well. And there are some scholarships out there for Black women specifically. Actually, I only know of one right now that's for Black women. So we want to target this group as well and get them to that next stage of becoming licensed. And then, of course, once they are licensed, maintaining the license, if there's anything that's needed there as well, because we all fall on hard times, right? And this just needs to be a resource for all of those women. So that's been in talks. Also, content creation has been in talks. So, Mark, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see the social medias, but visually, we've been doing a lot. And we want to kind of step beyond that as well. Like, what does it look like to actually interview these women and for you to start hearing their voices and seeing their faces now as they talk about their stories and their backgrounds in architecture, right? And their work, highlighting the actual work as well beyond their profiles. What does that look like? And so there's a lot in a pipeline right now. And then also raising money for the organization, that's also in the works as well. I think right now we're just all about getting it out there, publicizing it, making everyone aware, and understanding that it's a great source, it's a valid source. We've done our homework. And then in the future, we want to get support from people as well.
So I was going to ask, is there any way for people to contribute financially? So I'm assuming that should wait until the foundation is established?
There is right now, but yes, I would wait until we start the official fundraising campaign, which is coming in 2022. So right now it's grassroots right now, getting the word out and setting up the foundation for everything.
Yeah. Well, when that's ready, you come back and we'll talk about the foundation, and we'll get the word out that you're ready to start collecting some funds so we can make this even bigger and better. Other than that, how else can our listeners contribute to First 500?
I would say if you know any Black girl, Black woman practicing architect in the field, tap them and please make sure that they are aware of this platform and that it is for them. Also, if you want to personally contribute, please spread the word. We've been featured everywhere now. It's kind of crazy. Arc Daily, Denzine, Chicago Tribune is coming out soon. Like it's pretty wild. So spread the word and let's continue to raise awareness about the platform until we start the fundraising.
The stories that you talked about when you said that, my thought was podcast. It would be a great podcast to hear these women tell these stories themselves. Would be so interesting. So
Absolutely.
If you're interested, let's talk about that.
Please.
That would be very cool. All right. So the website is first500.org. The email, if you have questions or some information to share, info@first500.org. Before we wrap things up here, Tiara, I want to ask you, what is one thing that a small firm architect can do today to build a better business for tomorrow?
I'm going to be selfish, Mark, and say support Black women. Support Black women in the field. We are far and few in between and absolutely need all hands on deck to change these really shocking statistics that I shared with you today. And so please, 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 if you know, again, a Black woman student, a Black girl, anyone that's Black and female that is interested in architecture or is on her journey to architecture, please support her. Please, please, please. And that is not the same for everyone. So let's be equitable about it. And we can ask her, how can we support you? And I challenge all of us, all hands on deck. This is my call to action for the industry to support Black women in the field.
And first500.org is a great place to learn how to do that, right?
Absolutely.
So if you want to support Black women in architecture, go to first500.org and just look through the website, read it, watch some of those videos, learn what you need to learn. because that helps us as well, right? Helps us understand how we can support, and we can just make this, part of the world and how our profession works, and that It's not just this unique little thing, it's this big thing, right? That we should all be part of this profession equally. So Tiara Hughes, thank you for what you do. First500.org, info@first500.org. All the social media is First 500 as well. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's all there. Go subscribe and follow and click and all those things. Do all those things. First 500. Tiara, thank you for what you are doing. You are an inspiration to see to be part of it from the beginning, to hear your story from the very beginning back in episode 222, to hear where you are today. The group has grown. It's no longer a project. It's an organization. It's clearly going to continue to grow and impact our profession in many, many ways, right? It's going to certainly impact Black women in architecture, but it will impact the entire profession because of the work that you do. And so thank you for stepping up and taking that lead. That's a hard thing to do, to recognize that there's a need and stepping into that need and saying, okay, I'm going to do something about this. And just starting it, right? That first 500 project, when we talked back then, it was just an idea and you were stepping into the idea. And today you just kept moving forward and kept moving forward and kept moving forward and just kept growing it. And that's where it is today. And it's going to continue to do that. So thank you for your leadership and thank you for sharing your knowledge here and your inspiration here today at Entre Architect Podcast.
Thank you, Mark. Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you for being with us at the very beginning. I was so green on that last podcast. People still listen to that. I'm like, I cringe, but thank you so much. It's been a very humbling experience. I'll say too, just the pour out from across the globe, even across the globe, has been phenomenal. We're so grateful, and more to come. Stay tuned. And yes, follow us on all platforms. We're here for you. Send us any notes or anything that your heart desires. You can see that we quote a lot of our supporters on there as well. And so if you're interested in sending a quote in, please let us know. But yes, stay tuned. There's more in the pipeline from First 500.
First500.org. Go check it out. If you liked this episode of Entre Architects Podcast, please share a rating, write a review. Yep, if you liked this episode, go write about it. Wherever you're listening to this episode, they all have access to a rating or a review. I ask you to do that because that's how other architects will find it. And share this link, the link to this episode. If you liked it, share it with a friend who may not know what we're doing here at Entre Architect. That's how we've grown over the last 10 years. Yes, 2022 is our 10th year here at Entre Architect Podcast, and that is how we've grown because you share this link with a friend. That's how we've grown to serve thousands more architects just like you. And thank you to our sponsors because we could not do it without them. To sponsors for this episode, FreshBooks and ArtCat, thank you for their support. Links to our sponsors and all the resources we discussed today on this episode are available at the show notes for this episode found at entrearchitect.com/podcast. Entre Architect is a member of Gable Media Podcast Network. Gable Media is curated thought leadership for an audience dedicated to building a better world. Listen and subscribe to all the shows at gablemedia.com. That's GABL media.com. Go check out gablemedia.com. Right now we have 10 podcasts on gablemedia.com, all architecture, engineering, construction. You will love it. It's built for you. Go check it out at gablemedia.com. And coming to Austin this fall, Austin, Texas, this fall of 2022, the Entre Architect Community Annual Meeting. Yes, the first ever live and in-person conference for you, small firm architects. Come hang out with us in Austin this autumn. Visit entrearchitect.com/annual meeting right now to learn more and subscribe for updates. That's entrearchitect.com/annual meeting, our conference for small firms. I hope to see you in Austin. Thank you for listening today. Love learn, and share what you know.
Imagine earning continuing education credits while doing exactly what you're doing right now. Well, you can. Gable Media has revolutionized the way you earn your continuing education credits with a groundbreaking approach. Forget running around town and scouring the internet for credit-worthy courses. Fulfill your CE requirements effortlessly by listening to engaging podcasts just like the one you're listening to now. Our podcasts are designed to educate, entertain, and inspire, all in a user-friendly environment. But wait, there's more. Architects, Gable Media is also approved as an AIA continuing education services provider. Upon completion, we handle everything, from reporting your hours directly to the AIA to storing your certificates in your personal Gable Media profile for your self-reporting needs. So follow the link in the show notes and start earning your credits in the most innovative and entertaining way possible with Gable Media.
Attention architects and creative minds, get ready to supercharge your brand with Build Your Brand, the podcast that's unlocking the secrets of branding success for creatives. Hey there, it's Mark Arlepage, founder of Entre Architect, and I'm inviting you to join my friend, architect marketing expert Jeff Eccles at Build Your Brand podcast, where he explores the captivating stories of the world's top brands and transforms their lessons into powerful moves for small firm architects and creatives like you. In Season 1, Jeff shares the thrilling tale of Southwest Airlines, where he dissects their journey to the summit and distills it into strategies tailor-made for you.
It's important to keep in mind that companies like Southwest compete in the real world, just like you, and face real-world challenges, just like you. You might be surprised at how similar those challenges are to the struggles that you grapple with on a day-to-day basis.
Don't miss out on your blueprint for success. Subscribe, tune in, and let's build your brand together.
You may have noticed that the very best brands in the world are also known for having somewhat unique corporate cultures. That's often the glue that holds everything together when they encounter those rough spots.
We don't do it because it inconveniences the passengers to whom we are primarily dedicated, the short haul, frequent flyer.
Follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Your Brand today. Remember, no matter the size, the journey's the same. Your brand's journey to the top starts here.